Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kimberly Akers pleaded guilty on Thursday to her role in the 2017 death of Heidi Hamilton. And a Floyd County man will spend 10 years in prison on a manslaughter charge for punching and killing a fellow inmate. Plus, Kentucky State Police are investigating a possible case of animal abuse after a rescue center posted pictures of a dog they believe was sexually assaulted.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:33 on Friday, November the 22nd. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. Madison has a much-deserved day off, and so you get just Brandon and I for the next 30 minutes, as you have for the past hour and a half. Brandon, earlier you could hear the rain falling on the roof of the studio. It's kind of backed off now, but there is still rain across almost all of eastern Kentucky.
That's right. Let's take a radar tour there on Live Pinpoint Doppler radar, and I'll show you some of the heavier bands. But you're right, it's still out there. It's just lighter here in Hazard, but we are seeing some heavier bands over toward Pikeville, around Pikeville, down toward Phelps, and over into West Virginia there, southwest Virginia, all the way back over toward Jenkins there, just south of Hazard, down toward Harlan, seeing some pretty good heavy rain right now up toward Cumberland, Ewing over Lee County, Virginia, down past Middlesboro, Powell Valley, and Claiborne County, and then Jellicoe right there on the border of Whitley County and Campbell County in East Tennessee. Visibility basically taking a hit everywhere, so just be careful this morning. That's heavy rain and dense fog. Temperatures down to about 50 in most areas there, a little bit below 50. 54 Jacksboro and Campbell County is the warmest spot in the region. Rain's going to be around for much of today, but there is a break possible as we get deeper into the nighttime hours. I'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Well, Kentucky State Police are investigating a possible case of animal abuse. In a Facebook post, a rescue center in Frankfort is accusing a man of sexually assaulting a dog. We warn you now, this story contains some graphic imagery. WYMT's Katie Cook talked with a state trooper and has more on their investigation.
It is news nobody wants to hear.
There was a complaint that came in advising that a dog had been injured.
And it's a post nobody wants to see.
The trooper that is investigating this has also been in contact with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office in Leslie County.
Police now conducting interviews and waiting for examination results to come back
to verify or refute that there was any kind of sexual contact with the dog by a human being.
And until then, no arrest will be made.
If it is determined that there's someone in the community who is doing these things to animals through this investigation, then those people will be contacted and dealt with appropriately.
When an animal is hurt, it makes us emotional. Animals can't speak out about their pain the way humans can, and it especially takes a toll on those who help them heal. Rescue centers, animal shelters both take in abused or injured dogs like Homer.
It takes a very hard toll on them.
Seeing animals injured and possibly abused is not a job just anyone can do.
Even to the point to where they just want to give up because the cruelty becomes so bad.
But most do not give up, and that is why animals like Homer are given a second chance. In Perry County, Katie Cook, WYMT Mountain News.
Police say they have talked to the person accused of sexually abusing the dog. That person is cooperating with their investigation. Well, Kimberly Akers pleaded guilty on Thursday to her role in the 2017 death of Heidi Hamilton. Akers drove under the influence, causing a crash that resulted in Heidi's death. Heidi's family came to the plea hearing yesterday to ask the judge to allow Akers to enter treatment instead of incarceration as she awaits her February sentencing. They say it is about second chances and awareness.
You don't think much about people out on the roads drinking and driving, and a lot of times people don't take it serious, but it's a very serious thing.
Tackett is now involved with the Mothers Against Drunk Driving program and has helped plan a candlelight vigil for others who have experienced what her family is going through. For more on that, you can visit our website at WYMT.com. A Floyd County man will spend 10 years in prison for punching and killing a fellow inmate. Scotty Gibson pleaded guilty to an amended second-degree manslaughter charge in October. He initially faced a murder charge. Last year, he punched another inmate while at the Floyd County Detention Center that resulted in the man dying. And last night, we learned new information about a human skeleton found in Perry County. Those bones were sent to the University of Tennessee to identify who it is. They were found in the Chimney Rock community by a man surveying property of an abandoned mobile home. It could take months for an identification. The London Laurel County Crime Stoppers are offering a $4,000 reward for any information that leads to an arrest for a tractor theft last Friday. Police say a tractor was stolen from a home around the 16th Street area early Friday morning. That tractor was seen on the Kentucky Highway 192 roadway shortly after 4 o'clock. That tractor was found near North Laurel Middle School after running out of gas, but no one was inside and there are no suspects right now.
We feel like somebody out there has some information on this or has heard something on it, and if they'll let us know, they can remain anonymous, and we'll get them the money and we'll get the bad guys.
If anyone has any information, you are asked to call the Laurel County Sheriff's Office at 606-864-6600. A Bell County woman is accused of stealing a very expensive engagement ring, then trying to pawn it off. A grand jury indicted Lucretia Glover on Wednesday. She is accused of taking a Neil Lane 1.5 14-karat white gold engagement ring and then pawning it off for $1,000 last year. The indictment lists the value of that ring at more than $6,200. 1 week after Kentucky held a statewide recanvass of the governor's race, election results were officially certified yesterday. Democratic challenger Andy Beshear defeated Republican incumbent Matt Bevin by just more than 5,000 votes. Governor Bevin requested a recanvass of the ballots before ultimately conceding to Beshear last week. Hillary Thornton has more from yesterday's meeting in Frankfort.
Certifying the vote totals is one of the last things to happen to make the results officially official. That taking place here this morning at the State Board of Elections.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
The board voting unanimously to certify election results. That includes the highly watched and highly competitive race for governor. Incumbent Matt Bevin requesting a recanvass, that taking place last week, and confirming his Democrat challenger won the election. Andy Beshear receiving 5,136 more votes than Bevin.
Every election has transposition errors. Every election, I mean, we're talking about a human process.
He says that is why there was a tedious process in place with several different sets of eyes looking at the numbers along the way.
When we initially get those numbers in, we do a first tally. We send those out to the full board, including the Secretary of State.
Some errors found by the board, as well as Allison Lundergan Grimes, board members explaining those errors matched up, corrections were made, and reflected in the totals certified today. Executive Director Jared Deering explaining that because it is a human process, errors can happen, which is why the system is in place and why there can be some changes seen from the immediate returns on election night to the numbers actually certified.
All of that system goes in to protect our elections, to secure our elections. And that's why this election, while there was a lot of politics that swirled around that, from the board's perspective and administrative perspective, the politics, that's not our viewpoint. The election itself was handled incredibly well. It was a very smooth election. We didn't see any major problems. And, I think at the end of the day, the election told that story.
Hillary Thornton, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, the inauguration for Governor-elect Andy Beshear is scheduled for December 10th. Now, Governor-elect Beshear is taking another step to prepare to take office, announcing 4 appointments to the office of the governor yesterday. First, naming J. Michael Brown, the chair of his transition team, as the secretary of the executive branch. The co-chair of the transition team, Latasha Buckner, was named general counsel of the governor's office. Travis Mayo will join Buckner as deputy general counsel. The governor-elect also announced Crystal Staley will serve as the director of communications. All 4 of the picks previously worked with Beshear in the attorney general's office.
Now, I will tell you that not all of our announcements will be people from the attorney general's office, but those that you know the best. You know their qualifications, you know their work ethic, you can rely on them. So these were easy for initial appointments.
Governor-elect Beshear says in the coming days more appointments will be made. He says not all of the appointments will come from the attorney general's office, as you just heard.
Rain chances, that's what we're dealing with today. We're going to be dealing with that for the next couple of days, so make sure you have your rain gear handy. It started at the overnight hours, continues through. Now we see it here locally. How about statewide? Well, we're seeing more out toward Bowling Green, Paducah. Let's go a little further than that. Region-wide, and you see round 2 is back out here trying to get its act together. It's going to start to affect us tomorrow, so a couple of different days of rain. And then, yes, Will, I see what's over toward Wichita, and we're not going to see that here. Temperatures too warm for that today and tomorrow. Looking at visibility numbers, we are going to see low visibility this morning, so be careful as you head out the door. Temperatures falling, but they'll stabilize in the low 50s later today for most. Almanac for today, 52 is what we've got. For this afternoon, we topped out about 58 a little earlier this morning. We averaged 55 for this time of the year. Our record was 72 back on this day in 2010. Will?
All righty, Brandon, thank you. And thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Here's a look at what's ahead. The Federal Black Lung Fund, nearly $1 billion in debt, and experts say the future of it looks uncertain. Plus, soldiers at Fort Knox yesterday were paying tribute to former President Zachary Taylor.